coming to you today to talk about something that's very dangerous in our culture, in our country, in this world today. Very dangerous. And that is the fear to express yourself, the fear to express your opinions, and the fear to be you.
All they're doing is destroying. If you take anything in the video, they're destroying. So you've got almost 2 billion people on your platform. They're making all the money from us. The way their reporting system is they play the judge, the jury, the executioner, the mommy and the daddy. Okay, that's that's the role they are taking through their reporting system. One social network CEO to the next, you don't do that.
Self-expression should never be censored, and I will not let a large internet platform strip me of my freedom of speech.
Good. Yeah, what's up, brother? How you doing this evening?
All right, now they can hear me.
Awesome.
They could hear you, they just couldn't hear me, so it's probably better that way anyway. So we're back. What is today? It's Thursday. It's like our Friday, right? So it's Thursday.
Hey, Susan.
And
yeah, it's Thursday.
It is like a Friday too, because you're always happy on Friday. It feels like there's something else going on, and I don't know. It feels like a Friday to me after last night. After the speech, after the State of the Union. So I was I was pumped about tonight and coming on and doing this, and then of course the last I don't know how long been battling with my favorite friend in the world, technology.
Right.
So I hate it. But here we are, and
hey,
we're here, and we've got somewhat short on time since we started late tonight. So thanks everyone for being here. Let's see, Mark Grady, Susan Leclerc, Larry Lewis is in, Kathy Marone, how you doing?
Hey, Naoma.
Paul Tatum, how you doing? Naoma Waite's back.
What's up, Mark?
Let's see who else is in here. David Kudlick, how you doing, brother? Jamie Whitecotton. Mama Winter, Amy Thomas, Kevin Rose. How you doing? All right. So, let me cue this up since we're gonna fire right into it. What do you want to start with here? Let's hang on. Let me get it up here. All right, I'll get going. You tell me which one, so I got to pull it up.
All right, I say we do the second dossier. By creepy Clinton confidant raises doubts about FBI's Trump probe. I say we start off with that. I mean, when I found this article, I was kind of shocked by it. You see a lot of articles and you look into them, you say, okay, here's the thing. There's a little bit of a story to this, but this article totally shocked me when I looked into it to see the backstory to it.
Yeah.
This article's going to take a little bit, guys, and I think it's something that we definitely should look into. So what this article entails is basically Tel Aviv reported that the FBI has been utilizing a second dossier in its investigation.
I don't know if you... Sorry, I'm playing with the cursor in Hillary's nose. It's too...
Right.
It's irresistible. I don't even know if my cursor shows up, but it's like, look at that smile and that mouth, and she's like,
Yeah.
She look.
I know.
It looks like that's her wax figure, you know, that's in the, wax Hall of Fame or something. It's like, and then she's got like, I don't know if this is her real skin or if she's an alien right here, but look at that. I mean, that's like a canyon.
It looks
All
like
right.
Halloween.
I'm done. I'm being a child tonight. I just like. There's just a lot going on and a lot of exciting things going on. A lot of scary things, but a lot of exciting things. And so, anyway, I interrupted you. Go on.
Well, I think the scary things are exciting because they're going to let everybody know they're scared.
Yeah.
But anyway, so basically that they're using the second dossier to say that Russia colluded with Donald Trump on the presidential campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Guardian cited multiple sources. The second memo question was authored by Cody Shearer, a shadowy former tabloid journalist who has long been closely associated with various Clinton scandals. Now, they call this guy out right away. Right away. I mean, we're talking right underneath the headline, they call this kid out. So the National Review previously dubbed Shearer a creepy Clinton confidant and the strangest character in Hillary's vast left-wing conspiracy. So
Previously.
Not only do we have the Steele memo, we have this memo that a Clinton confidant has put together this kind of shady character. So we want to get into this shady character. So we're just going to jump in. I'm going to do a lot of reading in this article, but this article is important.
Yeah.
Shearer's reported involvement with the FBI's investigation of Trump marks the second time the agency's probe has been tied to the Clintons. This is the second time the probe on Trump-Russian collusion has been tied. Fusion GPS, the law firm that hired former British spy Christopher Steele to compile the infamous, the 35-page Trump dossier. You guys, not only this, we have that dossier by Steele. Now the Clintons are tied to the Scheer dossier.
Yep.
And, I mean, from what this article says, they're tied even deeper to this dossier because this is a henchman for him. I mean, this guy's been doing stuff for the Clintons for a long time.
Yeah.
The Guardian reported the so-called Scheer memo was given to the FBI by Steele in October of 2016. Okay?
Wow.
Now here's the crazy part. The newspaper reported on the Scheer memo. It was handed to them by Steele, who had been given it by an American contact after the FBI requested the former M16 agent provide any documents or evidence that could be useful in its investigation, according to multiple sources. So
MI6,
they
brother.
attached their
MI6, just because I know somebody's going to throw it up in the comments. I know, on the screen it looks, trust me, it looks like M16. It's MI6.
Yeah.
I know you know what it is. I'm not correcting you. I was laughing because
that's fine.
I thought the same thing. So, dude, this is... Take on me. I just figured you'd rather me point it out than have some turd troll in here go, ha, ha, ha. You know what? So screw you.
That's okay, man, but you want to know... What's up, Jeremy? That's all right, though, man. Here's the deal: is you got to have a thick skin with this because you always got people taking pot shots at you, and you always got people trying to knock you down, or people trying to gouge it. You just got to laugh at.
That's why you and I are teamed up.
Man, that's their own insecurity.
That's right. That's why you and I are teamed up because we can throw them at each other and it doesn't. You're like, yeah, whatever.
Right. It don't hurt.
People are probably going, oh, Francis is being a dick. No.
That's my brother. It says the Guardian was told Steele warned the FBI he could not vouch for the veracity of the Scheer memo, but that he was providing a copy because it corresponded with what he had separately heard from his own independent sources.
Whoa.
Double. I mean, that's okay. So this is double backup. Okay. Then basically what they're talking about, and that's the thing where Trump went to Moscow in 2013, right?
Yeah.
And they said that basically that I don't even know if I should read it. They wanted Trump asked to have some prostitutes come urinate on him in the same bed that Barack Obama had stayed in on a trip when he went to Russia to desecrate, right? Multi-billionaire, yeah. And
sorry.
So the Post quoted a person with knowledge of Trump's 2013 trip saying that Trump bodyguard rejected an offer. So also in the memo it talks about how Trump rejected, the bodyguard even had rejected these prostitutes that were supposedly sent there to do this, right? To set Trump up. So that's why I don't understand why this holds any water. Okay, now this is what really creeps me out when we get into this guy. Scheer's name, meanwhile, was mentioned in January 25th letter from Senator Chuck Grassley, chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, addressed to DNC and to Mark E. Alias, an attorney at the Perkins Coie law firm. The Washington Post previously reported that Alias, utilizing Perkins Coie, retained Fusion GPS to conduct the firm's anti-Trump work on behalf of both the Clintons' presidential campaign and the DNC. They were both clients.
Wow.
Okay, no. I mean,
Wow.
I'm telling you, man, when I saw this article today, and you pick out these juicy, hey, PK, hey, Tony, Joe, when you pick out these juicy articles, and when I started to go through it, because at first you think it's going to be like a 1.5 page piece by this, but man. Man.
Nope.
No. Okay, so, no, okay.
Wow.
No, we're just, this is crazy. We're just getting into it, okay? They talk about numerous close personal. Okay, so Scheer has numerous close and personal and family connections to the Clintons and has reportedly been involved in numerous antics tied to the Clintons. His brother-in-law was friends with Bill Clinton when the two were students at Oxford. His name is Talbot. He become on to be a special
it's the mafia.
Get this, he becomes a special advisor to the Secretary of State during the first Clinton administration. Derek Scheer, Cody's brother, was Clinton's ambassador to Finland.
They're just a sophisticated, richer, formally educated version of the mafia.
Yeah, right.
I mean, need I remind everyone about the number of very timely suicides and accidental deaths in very, odd, unique situations that surround the Clintons and their multiple cover-ups.
This is shocking me. I mean, this is how. Now, wait till we get into this, because it's going to explain how Clinton used her State Department to create oligarchs for profit. Okay, so this is the crazy thing. Okay, so the Independent reported on a government investigation whether Scheer misrepresented himself as working on behalf of the Clinton State Department in Bosnia in the 1990s. Okay, yeah. Reporting, we all know what happened in Bosnia in the 1990s.
Dude, this is deep. I mean, like, seriously, you and I have had these conversations so many times, and we've talked. Okay, so sometimes Ty and I talk, and we're like, we not like conspiracy theory, but we hypothesize. We think, well, God, think about this. Well, what if? Well, it could be
one step ahead. Kind of thing.
But this is going back more steps than I think we've even really considered.
And why I'm pumped about this is, I mean, I'm not pumped about it, but I mean, this is showing us the depth of what's going to be in this dossiers and the corruptness. So, I mean, this is kind of, to me, a bearing of what's going to be in the 4-page.
Right. Yep.
Okay, according to the Washington Examiner, Mr. Scheer was investigated by the State Department Inspector General in 1998 after he led negotiations that caused temporary diplomatic damage in Bosnia, citing documents obtained by same. Speaking on behalf of the State Department in conversations about proposed partitioning of Bosnia. I mean, this guy's over there representing the State Department of Hillary Clinton in the 90s and creates chaos in Bosnia. The National Review further reported on Scheer's efforts in Bosnia. In the middle of the decade, for reasons that remain unclear, he traveled to Europe to negotiate with associates of Radovan Karadzic, the Bosnian Serb president known to have orchestrated the mass killings of Bosnian Muslims, including the Srebrenica genocide during the brutal Yugoslav wars. Representing himself as an agent of the State Department, Scheer told his Siberian contacts, which included members of the family, that he could reduce the severity of impeding war crimes charges if Karadzic surrendered. He claimed he was in contact not only with his brother-in-law, but also with then Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, and even with President Clinton himself. They can hear the sound better just now.
Okay, yeah, I switched out. I've had, I don't know if it's the headphones or the mic, but I just removed them both.
And I also wanted to let you know, man, before we go any further than this, I come across the newswire that Daryl Behart, he's a patriot that stands out of Colorado here. He's sick and in the hospital.
Oh,
so
no.
I want to give a shout out to everybody to throw some prayers his way. It just come across the thing, so.
Okay, I hadn't heard that.
Give a shout out to him, man, that he's not feeling well. So it just comes. Somebody just sent it to me. Sorry for interrupting.
Thanks for that. Thanks, guys, for
So prayers for Daryl,
passing that on.
Patriot out of Colorado. Okay, so now here's okay. So the State Department investigation found that the Serbs paid Scheer at least $25,000 for his efforts. Through the Serbs themselves claim he was paid much more. So this goes back to the talk about the oligarchs.
Yeah.
And how the State Department used its power. Oh, we'll be lenient on war crimes, and man. Now, okay, so this is the deep state at its best. Then the National Review reported that, okay, his name was directly associated with Blumenthal message to Clinton that many have resulted in the Secretary of State meeting with Mohammed Jibril, an opposition figure in Libya, who would later serve as interim prime minister during Libya's civil war.
Oh, dude,
The March 6, 2000...
so, sorry to interrupt you. This is, hang on. This is, I gotta make sure before I say this that I'm understanding this correctly. So Scheer's name was directly associated with a Blumenthal message to Clinton. Now that would be President Clinton, that would be Bill Clinton at that time.
Yes, and he was dealing through Madeleine Albright through to Clinton.
It may have resulted in the Secretary of State meeting which would be Madam Albright, right?
Yeah.
Mohammed Jibril.
No, okay, but
wow.
Yes.
So that guy. So he later is the prime minister during the Civil War, and he was the guy that was put in. Let's see if I remember this right. He was put in shortly, like before stability was really brought, but it was towards the end of their Civil War. And he was supposed to be the guy that was going to, bring reform, right?
Yeah.
Under, of course, close American guidance and leadership, which probably means paid off so that the Clintons could then have control in Libya. I mean, this is literally how they started to, like you said, these are the oligarchs to control multiple countries.
Diamond mines and coal mines and gas fields and anything the Clintons could stick their filthy hands in.
They tried to buy and manipulate and blackmail and control and murder their way into having control over multiple countries' governments. Like this has been their mission. This is like mafia on steroids. This is like if somebody made a fictional movie about a mafia that got so powerful and rose to power and got into politics and had so much control and so much money that they literally infiltrated the governments from within of multiple countries and took over the entire world. Like it's literally, these are the pieces that make up that story.
Yeah. No. And here's the thing is if you go back up to the paragraph above to tie it in, emails hacked from former Clinton aide Sidney Blumenthal's AOL account discuss a plan with Scheer to put paid operatives on the ground along the Libya-Tunisia border for about $60,000. The emails talk about the General and Grange, which ProPublica reported with seeming reference to David Al Grange, founder of Osprey Global Solutions, a military contractor reportedly seeking to work with Libya's transitional government. Money. Create war to put boots on the ground to quell war.
Yep. Follow the money. Every single time.
I mean, okay. This has got me upset. The March 6, 2011 email released by Benghazi Committee, however, illustrates a more direct link. This is the Benghazi Committee. More direct link between Clinton and Scheer. Cody, on his own, still at heart, an indefatigable journalist, simply picked up the phone and had a conversation with one of the key figures in the Libyan National Council, Blumenthal writes, copying Scheer's intelligence memo directly into the email. Scheer's memo calls Jibril very smart, saying that Libya has no desire to serve in future government, but only wants to help in the transition. Someone should contact Mohammed Jibril. Scheer continue. He is balanced, level-headed, and understands the current situation well. Cody says that Jibril said he has not been contacted by anyone from the U.S. government, Blumenthal wrote in the email.
Wow.
In the 90s, Scheer's name came up regarding alleged Clinton efforts to suppress charges of sexual assault against Bill Clinton, friends of Pecker. Questions surfaced about Scheer's alleged role with the controversial work of Terry Lenizer, a private investigator tied to efforts to discredit Clinton accusers. Man, this is a 3-page. It's coming
no, it's
out,
huge.
Guys. This is a 3-page article off of.
It's huge.
Breitbart News, and I mean, it is going. When I looked at the. Okay, so we're almost done, and then we'll wrap.
This isn't even the memo.
No, this is just. a supposed memo and some backup information about how dirty this crap really is coming in.
Yeah, and this is all stuff from the outside. This is just people, putting the pieces of the puzzle together, like one piece at a time. We're about to get tomorrow. Tomorrow's the expectation.
Tomorrow.
We're about to get handed
in here that
a cult.
the sunshine will.
Oh.
What did they say? The sunshine will clear things up in the morning.
Ooh, wow.
So let's nail this last paragraph, guys, and then I'll quit doing so much reading tonight. This is just an article that had to be read.
Yep.
You guys had to hear it yourselves. Shearer's, in 1999, profile of Shearer, Slate reported. This is his profile, government profile.
Okay.
Shearer's name popped up in the course of Senator Don Nichols' angry questioning of Terry Lenzer, the private investigator who would later, in the thick of Jones, Lewinsky, Wiley, who knows who else matter, be accused by Dick Morris, among others, of coordinating efforts to smear and intimidate those women. Shearer had apparently acted as a liaison between Lenzer's firm, Investigative Group International, and the Cheyenne Arapaho tribe. The tribe had donated more than $100,000 to the Democratic Party, hoping, according to testimony, that the administration would intervene on its behalf in a dispute over drilling rights on tribal lands. Lenzer had been retained to uncover compromising links between Nichols, who opposed the tribe's claims, and local oil interests. Lenzer, while he admitted that he had accepted the tribe's retainer, has denied that Cody Shearer had ever worked for IGI through the firm did once employ his sister Brooke. Shearer's name resurfacing for reportedly involvement in providing information reportedly utilized by the FBI raises new questions about the veracity of the agency's Russian collusion probe.
You think?
That's a paid hitman. Friends of Pecker. Friends of Pecker as big as Friends of Pecker gets.
I love how they think they're so tricky, and they are. They've been tricky for a number of years with this whole money thing. It's it's like, well, Cody Shearer never worked for IGI, but the firm did once employ his sister Brooke. I mean, it just so happens.
What do you think?
Oh, she probably got paid $350,000 for like a 6-month contract for like,
and she never showed
taking
up.
Staples out of the carpet or something. And
she never showed up.
No.
That was, and all that check, and you know what that check was? They probably were paying him $550,000 and said, hey, he probably went in and told him, and hey, if we got to do this through my sister and launder this money through my sister, you owe her 100 G's too. So you make that thing to 650 for my sister. You know how this all goes.
I unfortunately, yes.
Here, Troy put in here, they even supported whole village of Mujahideen fighters in Bosnia. You should see some of the pictures we took over there. Yeah, Troy, get them to me and we'll post some of them. I'll get them to Francis. What's up, Joe? But no, so, man, this thing, no wonder Schiff, and no wonder, Pelosi comes out today and calls for the firing of Nunes, and Schiff is now trying to claim that the documents tampered and played with. And here's the thing that really frickin' upsets me, is you have the FBI, who is controlled by the President of the United States. All they are is a organization, an institution in this country. And they are going against, they are openly and defiantly going against the President of the United States, who has the power to tell these organizations, and they are defying him in public. And people are not pissed, and I do not understand it. Even Trumpers, we say, oh, well, the FBI, and he's going to go. What people do not realize is the FBI should never come out against the President of the United States like that.
Ever.
And then people are going to say, well, he comes out against the FBI. It does not matter. The FBI is an institution. He is the president, and the executive branch has total, complete control over the FBI in any branch like him.
Yep.
And they're bucking the system right in public, in his face. It's the deep state, you guys. When the FBI is telling the president what to do by covering their ass and covering their own tracks, if you guys don't think the deep state's real, then I don't know what to tell you guys. That's not conspiracy theory. It's right in front of you. Tyranny, tyranny, tyranny.
And it's not slowing down, brother. In fact, every day, there's just more and more exposed. There's just every single day we see more and more of it. This is an article. This is a Breitbart article. Let's see if I can show you guys the title, so in case you want to look it up, and we'll try and after the show share it onto the page. But it's called "Second Dossier" by Creepy Clinton Confidant Raises Doubts About FBI's Trump Probe. So, man, we wanted to get that one in and get that one make sure we had
That
time
was,
to
I
get it
mean,
done. That's a mean one. We got to do it though.
I mean, you hate to just read through the paragraphs, but here's the thing: is for us to get on there, this was sitting back about fourth on their hit list.
Yep.
For us to get to it and actually go through it with you guys, sometimes we just got to read and something like that. I see you guys from the comments you're interested. So yeah, I'm glad you guys looked at that article.
Good. Well, hey,
Where do you want to go now, brother?
you know what? Let's do this really quick because it's kind of a little funny breakup.
Cool.
So this guy here, Michigan man, his dog is approved. Let me straighten this up here for you. His dog's approved for
this is insane.
300 and hello, pop up. No, we don't want USA Today.
Welcome, Beth.
His dog's approved for $360 a week for unemployment. This is funny. So he posted this picture. He got this letter, and it was, I think it's Ryder. Addressed to a Michael Ryder. That was qualifying Ryder for unemployment benefits. Well, Ryder is this guy's dog. And on it, it said that the dog worked at a fast food joint. Or no, a restaurant. And so, of course, he had to call the restaurant. He had to call unemployment and get it cleared up. Which, of course, I'm sure they had a laugh. They thought it was all funny. But
I don't think it's funny because
I don't think it's funny at all.
How many people would take the check and let it ride and then know that the simple fact is when they called you to say, what have you been doing with that money? You can go, you're stupid.
Yep.
It's your fault.
It's right here. I mean, it's $360 a week. I don't think it's funny one bit. 720, what's that? 720, 1440 is $1,440 a month.
Yeah. No. Hey, that's a lot of money.
No. So that's unacceptable. So this was kind of one of those. This was kind of one of those funny stories, like but really not funny. I'm not not laughing. So just wanted to bring that to you guys, and
pretty insane, right?
Yeah, we've got to. The thing is that you got to ask yourself, where do these things come from? How does this happen? And why would a government program be so inclined, so enticed? Something is enticing this program to be set up to overpay, right? Overpopulate. Like, what's the purpose? And to pay out the money. Well, first of all, they're not paying it out. The employers are paying it out, and the rest of the taxpayers are paying it out. And I think ultimately it just goes back to the whole big government thing. It's the whole big government concept where it's, if we don't use all our budget this year, then they'll cut it next year. We can't come under budget because then they'll say, oh, good job, you guys, and then they'll cut it next year. So we got to spend all the money. So that's waste. And then it's the more people that use our service or our system or our department, the more valuable we must be, the more needed we must be, which means then that means more work. And then we get paid more. And then this is all this is what happens when you allow government, when you entrust government to take care of you in any way, shape, or form. That's what unemployment benefits are. It's a socialist program it's a drug. Yes, and it's there to help us. It's there to help us. Yeah. Because what are you gonna do if you get fired? What are you gonna do if you lose your job? We have to take care of you. No. What are you gonna do if you lose your job? You're gonna get your ass out there and fund a new one. And if that doesn't work, then you keep going until it does.
But it's just the guise of everything.
It is.
They put it out like you said as help,
and
then they try to hook you to
it. Is.
It was supposed to be a hand up, not a hand out. It just turned out to a hand out.
The downfall of liberty and freedom to any man, and by man I mean human. Yep. The downfall of liberty and freedom to any man is when they entrust another person or entity to take care of them in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. Now we're not talking, protecting the borders. That's the government protecting the sanctity and the union that actually allows it to exist. So it's actually protecting the borders and having a military is the federal government's like self-survival mechanism. I mean, they just have to, otherwise they're not going to be anything. So that's not the same. I don't see that the same as asking them to, take care of me. But every other facet in life, if you want to lose your freedom and liberty, then start trusting the government or someone else to take care of you in any way. Take care of me when I'm sick. No, the government should not be involved in healthcare whatsoever. Take care of me when I lose my job. No. Use your brain, okay, and find some other way to make money, make a living. It's the same every single time, and I'm fed up with it.
Well,
I'm fed up with it. I'm done.
And you know what's really sad about it is there was a time 5-8 years ago that everybody called us tinfoil hat wearers, and we were talking our conspiracy, but we were talking these things too.
Mm-hmm.
And these things used to just infuriate me, these things you're talking about right here. But then when this election happens and these we're hearing about these memos, our founding fathers would be flipping out right now. With you guys have to realize something. They are going into our computers.
There'd be a march on the Capitol.
They're FISA warrants. Here's the deal. I'm going to pull out the good book really quick. The second good book. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. The second good book. And I want to remind people, okay? The Fourth Amendment, okay? Our founding fathers, the Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by the oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Now, you tell me as an American citizen how we're bickering over Donald Trump, all due respect to President Trump, when we have injustices going on like this memo. And they are attacking the foundations. We have the deep state attacking our president, attacking our way of thinking, attacking the foundations of everything that we believe in. And then just before we change the topic, I want to read one more thing to the viewer before we change the topic. The 14th Amendment. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction, therefore, are citizens of the United States and that of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. That right there is what should piss people off about this memo.
And what's to come. I'm telling you, what we're going to see tomorrow. It's just remember what we went through on that memo. Remember what Ty read and the reason why he read, word for word, so many parts of that.
Because it's crapping on the issue, guys.
It's going to build.
The 4th and the 14th. This right
here
is saying what they did to Donald Trump, a high profile billionaire. What do you think they're going to do to you?
Dude, exactly.
What do you think they're going to do to you?
They colluded.
Could you uncover this, Francis?
No.
Could Francis Marion, if government would have just buffaloed you and railroaded your ass to the ground, what could you have done?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nobody, in fact, you know what? Nobody would ever know about it. Had they done this to any other American citizen, we wouldn't know that any of this exists. The only reason, and the reason is because had she been successful and had she gotten elected, she would have buried all of this. It would have been gone and done. Are you kidding? None of this would be coming out. We wouldn't know anything, and we would still be just following along blindly. Even those of us that think that we were awake, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, when we thought we were awake, and now, think till now. Think about what we know about now, and the memo hasn't even come out. The 4-page memo hasn't come out, dude. Were we awake 6 months ago compared to now? Really?
No, we just thought. we thought that they wiretapped Trump, and they were playing a little bit of funny business.
Yep. We thought.
And then
that was it.
Then it comes out there's secret society. And then we've got Hillary.
It's a coup. It was a coup in the making. Actually, it was at first it was unlawful spying on an American citizen. Then it was spying on a presidential candidate. Then it was spying on and violating the rights of a president to be, and then continued after he was sworn in as president. It continued. So it was illegal spying. Then it was creating this fake dossier to use illegally to obtain foreign intelligence warrants and then what? Like, just bury him completely? What, get him arrested and send him to federal? I mean, seriously, how far were they going to go? Were they really going to push this to the point where he was charged? And I mean, I believe it.
Do you want to hear my take? Do you want to hear my take?
Absolutely.
Is they paid for these Russian documents, and they didn't just pay for them. There was a set of instructions that went with these Russian documents. Because here's what I think they did. So they have these documents so they can say collusion. Trump gets elected. And I bet you at one point the government tells Michael Flynn, hey, Mike, you know what? You got to get a hold of Russia. And this is what I think happened, because I think they said that the time he made contact was at a hotel somewhere, I think in South America or something. So here's what probably happens. This is what sucks is so at that time he was with a governor or a senator doing something. So probably what happened is they can listen overseas to American politicians, blah blah blah. The governor's talking, he's on the phone. Hey, Mike, you got to get a hold of this Russian, blah blah blah. Mike uses the same phone, or he's in the same conversation. Bing, now we got Mike talking to the Russians, and it goes with our dossier. And now we got the backup dossier.
Check the box. Right?
Check the box. Exactly. So
it's a formula.
They created the crime.
It's a formula.
They created the crime. They created the crime, and they are solving it backwards.
Yep.
And that should piss off any America, because you hear
should
what
scare
they're
the
doing
shit
now,
out
you
of
hear
you.
about in small town America.
Yep.
I mean, where they suppress people. You hear stories where people, go against a police force in small town America, and the city hall shuts them down, and their houses burn down, and their businesses burn down. And this is no different, except for, you want to know what? You can move from that town. You can't hide from the federal government. So when they put their thumb on your ass, you're done. You're pinned to the dirt.
It should literally. I mean, I have to sometimes. Actually, a lot of times,
I'm all excited and worked up.
I have to try and step away and try and not think about it, because really, you stop and think about that. What you just said, that should scare the living crap out of everyone. Not just what they were capable of doing, what they did, what they actually did. And like Michael Cosper said, made a comment just a minute ago, and we haven't even scratched the surface.
No, and that's what pisses me off is and then Schiff comes out and the FBI, and it's, you dumb Americans.
Oh man,
you
that
children,
piece of crap.
You shouldn't know this because it'll shake the foundations. Well, that's what this country needs. Wouldn't you rather? But this is globalist pig. This is globalist pig agenda, because you want to know what? The normal American will say, you want to know what? Let's shake the foundations and let's fix it. But the globalist,
no, they want it to fail.
Mongering, money whore pig wants us to battle it out with each other.
That's,
because you want to know what? Then they come swoop in and save us.
That's how you gain control. It's right out of Alinsky. It's right out of, every dictatorship handbook that ever happened in human history. You break the people down in any way you can, and usually in multiple ways. You do it by
the war of attrition.
Yeah, you do it by overtaxing them. You do it by pitting them against each other. You do it by making them poor. You do it by taking away their access to information, i.e. controlling the media and schools and education.
Net neutrality.
I mean, seriously, I think that why it's been so difficult for Americans, myself included, up till recent years, to see what's been coming and what's been building, is because it's easy to look in the history books and go, those 200,000 people, that you could see that coming. I don't know why they didn't see that. But we are so massive. Our population is so massive, and our culture is so massive and expansive and complex that this has been building. If you look up if you consider all of the points that lead to communism, socialism, communism, dictatorship, we've got them. We've lost control of our media. We've lost control of our education system and our children. We've lost control of our morals and values in society. We've lost control of connection with our government. The representatives do not represent us.
They rule us.
We've been taxed into oblivion for decades.
Yep.
I mean, do I need to keep going?
Do you want me to put the writing on the wall? Hey, Jenna. riding on. Hey Dan, how you doing? Good to have
It's
you
crazy.
here. Yeah, and then, right away they bring up Ruby Ridge and then Waco.
Yep.
You're right. They could have arrested David Koresh the day before in Waco. Ruby Ridge, they shot a woman holding a child in a doorway.
Yeah.
And then the boys fire, and then there was a
How
massacre.
soon we forget.
Right.
Speaking of how soon we forget, before we gloat on Mr. Trump's State of the Union speech last night, we got some funny. I hope that they play all right, because these are some funny little video clips, and I think you're gonna like them. I don't think you've seen them, but it's gonna be a little commentary funny. So, like I said, how soon we forget. Well, Mr. Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell would love, and looks like they plan on having all of us forget. They want us to forget about the Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act. You know, that one that was put in front of Paul Ryan, like, I don't know, we talked about it 2 months ago, maybe?
That's when we first started the show. It was one of the first shows we did together. We talked about
and at that time, we were calling out that it had been like 45 days since he had been given it. So we're talking, I mean, I don't even, maybe it even says, I didn't see it in the article when I read through it, but because I didn't, honestly, I'll just be honest, I didn't read all of this article. I skimmed it because I've been following this issue since we really started doing the show. This pisses me off. This pisses me off about Paul Ryan. It pisses me off about McConnell. It kind of pisses me off about Trump. Because I don't like this. I don't like that this was not a major platform issue for him, but it was one that he brought up several times.
No, he brought up especially around the right people.
And exactly. And I don't like that. I don't like the fact that it appears to me, and people will say, okay, well, he's had bigger issues, bigger fish to fry. I agree. But come on, he's the king of Twitter. It would not take very much for him to put out a couple of days of tweets that just say, hey, Paul Ryan, it's been 50 days since I got that concealed carry legislation to you. Hey, Paul Ryan, it's been 75 days. TikTok,
Yep.
Are you for the Second Amendment or not? One tweet, one or two tweets, and I'll tell you, it would have put the media on it. It would have put the limelight on it. That is the one thing that I'm not happy about right now with the Trumpster.
I can't blame you.
I'm more unhappy with Paul Ryan, but I don't like. I feel like this was a little bit of a politicking move by Trump. I feel like this was hey, I hope I'm wrong. Please don't everybody give me a bunch of angry faces and everything, but I hope that it doesn't turn into hey, I tried and it was Paul Ryan's fault, because I'm not going to buy that.
Right. Well, and it isn't going to work.
So, I'm sorry. Question everything means question everything, and this is something that I question. I don't like it. So the concealed carry reciprocity.
I just want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I want to throw a shout out to Fat Man. He's in here. We're gonna bring him on in here a little bit. You guys, we've been having meet and greets with governor candidates for the state of Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
He'll talk to you about one we had. We've got another one coming up here on February 10th. Two veterans that we're having come down that are running for Republican governor Colorado. So he will be on here in a little bit. I'll give him a shout out when to call him, but he's in here. I just wanted to tell him thanks for joining tonight.
Cool. Right on. I hope we get time and we get him in, because let's see what time we got. Ooh, boy, we're running short. Okay. So we're going to leave this at that. Paul Ryan, Mitch McConnell, right now, not happy. You're sucking in my book as far as Second Amendment protection. So this was basically it was a license to carry a firearm that is issued by state. So if you have a state-issued concealed carry license, this would have allowed you to have that reciprocity across the board. So that would have been nice, but it looks like it's about to die.
And the sad thing is the Second Amendment should be state reciprocity.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely, it should be. That's constitutional carry. That's the issue that Nathan Mizrahi is dealing with after the Boston situation, and he's a constitutionalist as well, and he's adamant that he didn't do anything wrong. He has a legal New York State concealed concealed carry license, which is one of the most difficult to get, other than Massachusetts. But constitutionalist says, "Hey, I passed the background check. Here I am." All right, let's do this. So this this plays properly, this is Maxine Waters and her response to the State of the Union.
Hello. I'm Maxine Waters, a member of Congress, serving California's 43rd
Did you guys hear that?
Congressional District, and the ranking member of the House Committee on Financial Services. Yesterday, Donald Trump had the audacity to call upon people to set aside differences, when in reality he has divided Americans in ways no other modern president has done. We must look at his State of the Union
Yes, we must,
in the
Maxine.
context of all of the ways he defined himself during his campaign and throughout his first year as president. Donald Trump defined himself in his response to the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, when he defended white supremacists and the KKK, even after a young woman protesting against racism was killed by a white
Colleen goes,
supremacist.
"Oh God, we have to hear her." And
After
repeat,
Trump
LOL.
defended white
Will you-
We're
supremacists,
torturing you all.
Hey,
targeted
Ty, do you have
with his travel
one of your
ban,
devices up with
described
volume so
Mexicans
you can
as
check and see?
rapists, and mocked people with disabilities? It's impossible to believe him when he tries to declare that he wants to bring the country together.
Somebody says
One
better,
speech
but I can't.
I
can't
and
hear
does
it.
not make Donald Trump presidential. He's not presidential, and he never will be presidential. He claims that he's bringing people together, but make no mistake, he is a dangerous, unprincipled, divisive, and shameful racist. Trump often works to convince dissatisfied elements in our society.
Somebody said, oh, so they're
that
saying
all
better.
of
They're
their
saying it's good.
problems
Okay, so
are
they can hear.
caused by people
We
of
just
color.
can't.
He stokes racial
This technology's
animosity
killing me. Okay.
by referring to black NFL players as sons of
Oh,
bitches
come on.
and demonizing immigrants from Haiti and Africa. This president, with his vulgarity and his disrespect for women and people of color, is a terrible role model for our children. Whenever he appears on TV, there should be a disclaimer that says, "This may not be acceptable for children." Not only has Donald Trump failed on domestic policy, he is leading us in the wrong direction in the world. He withdrew the United States from the Paris Agreement
Thank goodness.
on climate change, despite the participation of nearly every country in the world. He routinely insults our Democratic allies while showing admiration for Vladimir Putin, despite the fact that Russia interfered with our election and undermined our democracy. He refused to certify the Iran nuclear agreement, which has prevented
Oh, no, she's a total liar.
Iran from developing nuclear weapons. He is isolating us with his inept trade policies, withdrawing the United States from trade agreements without negotiating viable alternatives. My remarks today are not merely a response to this President's State of the Union address. They are a warning to the American people, a warning that this president does not deserve to represent us, and that he's taken America down the road to
She has lost her mind.
division. Donald Trump constantly brags about himself, but he does not take the time to learn about public policy or study the many challenges facing the United States and the world, and he has no understanding of true leadership. He attempts to take credit for economic growth, but refuses to acknowledge that he inherited our nation's thriving economy from our nation's first black president.
That is
Under President
disgustingly
Obama, the unemployment
false.
rate fell from 10% to 4.8%.
That's false as well.
The African American unemployment rate fell 9 percentage points.
That is
Unfortunately,
absolutely not true.
in Congress, led by Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell, are terribly irresponsible in the way in which they enable him and refuse to confront him. And they have abdicated their responsibility to the citizens of this nation by condoning his actions. We, as Democrats, are committed to a growing economy that leaves no one behind. We're committed to an economy that protects consumers and provides good jobs with fair wages, quality health care, and affordable housing. These
Right.
are the policies for which I have worked all of my life and on which I
No,
will
stop
continue
working.
to work
Stop working on
despite
policies.
the constant chaos and distractions of this administration. Increasingly, millions of Americans have recognized that Donald Trump is detrimental to our nation. We deserve better. That's why I have called for his impeachment. Some believe it's too early. I disagree. The time is now. We must organize, challenge, and resist.
Ha.
Bye-bye, Maxine. You need to go away.
Bye-bye.
You need to retire. Retire, please.
Wow.
Anybody in California in here, geez,
Organize
something.
and resist. And you could see that I took that from or not took. I rebroadcast. Let's give credit where credit is due to BET. So
Thank you, BT, for
yeah.
that great little.
Yes, thank
video.
you, BET. Dude, she's
Sorry,
lost her ever living mind. Sorry, Beth.
But
I know
I'm nauseated,
she's nauseated.
now. I'm sorry.
Okay, well here, let's this is great. This is great. This is one that I don't think that people have seen, and hopefully there won't be an echo here again. Sometimes this software, well, I'll tell you, fights me. All right, here we go. This is hilarious. This is from the State of the Union address, and just watch. Echo. I know, I'm fixing it. I love it. Did you see Bernie? I totally. Okay, I was having to mess around with the echo, but this is fantastic. Just to roll through it again. Oh, I love this one. Look at that. That was the greatest face. He kept that the whole time. In Gutierrez. Mitch McConnell, he's so excited. Nancy Pelosi chewing the cud. Oh man. And the Black Caucus, I don't think they stood once for anything. Getting clapped. Paul Ryan. You know what? Just sit down.
Did you see where Nancy yelled at that lady?
Yep. Look at Tim Kaine. He's banging his hands together so hard. And Scalise is, just happy, just thankful to be alive. Poor Bernie. Oh, I guess I have to clap now. Bernie. So that was. I had to get a few laughs in there. I was looking at those today, and I couldn't help myself. So, what do we got on time here? Let me look. Ooh, we're close. So, let's skip that one. I don't know if you can see that or not. Which one do you want to finish up here with?
I'd like to, since we started with Hillary, I'd like to finish up with Hillary.
Yeah, baby.
And
Hillary.
if we do have a minute, if we can, I don't know if we'll have time
Yeah.
to pull Fat Man.
Yep,
If we do.
if we can, absolutely. I
think I'm just checking to see if he's still in.
Yeah.
Okay, I think he is. Cool. All right. If you want to pull up the second one on Hillary, it's another Breitbart story. But I mean, I figured if we were going to start with one, we'd roll with two.
Hey, and why not? It's a good day when you can pump up Trump and you can bask in his accomplishments, and then at the same time have two more nails in the coffin of Hillary in the same night. Woo! Yeah, baby.
Right? No, it's Thursday night.
That's how we
Patriot
roll.
movement. We're happy. So, guys, this article starts. Hillary Clinton pens Facebook post to defend decision not to fire employee for sexual misconduct.
Mm-hmm.
You all have seen this in the news. This isn't a hidden article. I just want to talk about it because the champion of women is in the news once again for shitting on women. So basically, Hillary Clinton took to Facebook on Tuesday, just hours ahead of President Donald Trump's first State of the Union address, defending her decision to retain a male campaign worker who sexually harassed a female on staff. Clinton wrote in her post that men should be held accountable for their actions, and everyone, regardless of their gender, should protect women from any abuse, which we agree with. Can't you agree with that, brother? Okay. In the lengthy post, Clinton didn't, however, reflect on or comment on her husband, ex-President Bill Clinton, who lied about his sexual conduct with a White House intern and was accused by several women of sexual assault. I very much understand the question I'm being asked as to why I let an employee on my 2008 campaign keep his job despite his inappropriate workplace behavior. Clinton's short answer is, if I had to do it again, I wouldn't. Now that I've been caught.
Right.
Hold on.
That's what that means.
She didn't.
That means I got caught. So next
and,
time
yeah.
I would do it different so I didn't get caught. Yeah. Next,
The
you know what
answer
you know what that means? I'm going to decode her answer. When she says next time I would do it different, what that means is next time I would make sure that woman has an accident, and then I won't have to worry about it.
Right? No, seriously.
Yeah.
So then the article goes on to talk about how she. But
wait a minute.
This guy was.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
what? Sorry. What's? I got to do this because while you've been talking, I've been itching and digging for a little gold here. What's going on right down here? I'm telling you, she might be an alien. Oh, I'm having too much fun tonight. You know what I need? I need my cursor to be able to be a pen, so I can draw.
Maybe she had a goiter.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe they removed a goiter.
Oh God, she's just so hideous in so many ways.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, she's nasty.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
So, other than that, is basically then she says that she would fire him, but she justifies how she believes in second chances and people have jobs, and people have families. And as she tries to avoid termination while still doing right by everyone, blah, blah, blah. Over the past year, a seismic shift has occurred in the way we approach and respond to sexual harassment, both as a society and individuals, Clinton said, adding that it took women from all walks of life coming forward to make this happen. My own decision to write in my memoir about experiences being sexually harassed and physically threatened early in my career. The first time was in college. Sure, that's when you met your husband.
Yeah.
Men are now
and
on
started
notice.
Reading Saul Alinsky.
Get this. Men are now on notice that they will truly be held accountable for their actions, Clinton said, especially now. We all need to be thinking about the complexities of sexual harassment and be willing to challenge ourselves to reassess and question our own views.
Wait a minute. Men are now on notice?
Yeah.
So wait a minute. When her husband is getting extra special attention under his desk in the White House, in the Oval Office, that's not time to be on notice. No, you're still okay.
No.
And when her staff is sexually harassing other female staff, when her male staff is sexually harassing female staff, that's not time to take notice. No. It's time for men to take notice when Hillary Clinton finally gets caught.
Well,
that's it.
Let's not forget. Now it's time to take notice after she took money from countries that oppress women. After we found out that the Clinton Foundation, when they filed their 990 tax forms, found out that the leadership team, the men in the leadership team, made $81,000 more than women in the Clinton Foundation. Mm-hmm. She laughed off her husband's accusers, and you know what upsets me?
Oh, she chased him down and threatened him.
If she was such a champion of women, whether Jennifer Flowers was abused by her husband or not, when the press of the United States of America weaponized themselves and laughed at that woman when she was on camera with her attorney saying that she had been sexually assaulted by the President of the United States, where was Hillary?
Nowhere to be found.
Where was Hillary?
Certainly not being a champion of women.
Not being a champion of women.
No, she was being a champion of her clan, of her mafia family. She was being a champion of one thing and one thing only, and it's the only thing that either of the Clintons have been focused on with every one of their decisions. You know how you and I, we talk a lot about, we make different decisions, things to talk about, things to rallies to go to, directions that we want to try and help guide the movement in. And we talk about making those decisions. In fact, we just talked about it earlier today. And you remember we always say, if we just have to focus on one thing, and that's making the right decision for the movement, for the country.
Use your heart.
That's right. It doesn't matter if it's the most popular at the time. It doesn't matter if it's new, old, or indifferent. If we truly believe that it's the right thing to do for our country and for the movement, then that's the decision that we make. Well, I think you take that same dedication and you put it into the Clintons, only their entire motivation, their entire decision process is what's going to be best for the Clinton machine, for the Clinton crime family, the Clinton global agenda, whatever you want to call it. They study, dude.
That's the sad thing.
They're smart. I mean, they're really, really smart. Really smart. They studied law. They're both lawyers, and they both studied not only law but Saul Alinsky's approach to it. And they have picked apart the law. They've picked apart the legal system. They've picked apart the elective system. They've picked apart the executive branch. They've picked apart the Constitution. They have discovered so many holes, and they've exploited every single one of them. And not just in America. They've exploited holes in systems around the entire globe.
And you know what's crazy is they're smart, and they're the lapdogs for the global agenda.
Uh-huh.
They are what's his name, Shearer?
Shearer?
They are, what Shearer was to them is what they are to George Soros.
That's right.
So I just want to throw that out.
Amen.
There. So, I mean, we bashed her. It's truth. It's all here. We have it here in the articles. Guys, Hillary Clinton, I'm sure they're all on notice. I'm sure they're all retaining attorneys, and I'm sure they're all buckling up for what's to come. I'm sure let's put it this way, I'm sure there's some sleepless politicians, ex-politicians, and current politicians this evening. And some anxious ones. Sleeplessness for anxiety, but sleeplessness for fear.
Mm-hmm.
Two types of sleeplessness tonight.
Oh, I hope they can't sleep. I hope their brains and their minds and their dreams and their nightmares are just going crazy. I hope they got constipation. I hope they're throwing up. I seriously, I hope that not just in general, I mean, anybody that is guilty in their own minds and hearts and knows they're guilty of deceiving and defying their oath to this country, I hope you're miserable right now just thinking about the possibility that you could go to prison for treason.
Right. Oh, for sure.
I hope.
Treason. Or worse.
So, you know what? Just, is Gabe still in here? Is Fat Man still in here?
Hey, Fat Man, call me on Skype, man.
And while we're waiting, while we're seeing if that works, check this out, because this is a new one that I found. And so, we talk about how you and I talk about, and a lot of people say, oh, every once in a while you watch these. And I'm going to show you what these I'm talking about, because this is a new one, and it's pretty funny. Check it out.
Cool. Give me a buzz,
Today is a crazy day. Some people are sad, scared, nervous. My job is to come out here and try to make you laugh and take your mind off of things for a while. So I hope that no matter how you're feeling, you can turn on the Tonight Show, and we'll be here to spread some joy and put a smile on your face. That's what we try to do.
I may be moving the camera. This
There's no way around it. This is what it feels like when America is made great again. I was wondering, and I was really hoping it would feel better, because this...
Hold on a second, let me try to add.
Now, if you're like me, the implications of this have been hitting you in waves. 1 minute you're numb, and the next minute you realise that Donald Trump, this man, will soon have access to the nuclear codes.
It was a rough night for everybody, I think. We're worried. The people are worried. Okay, he's the president. Now what?
And I think,
What's
guess
the
the message
names
that I
they
want to
start to put up?
spread out to other women is
Of
exactly
course,
what you're saying, is not to give up. Sorry, I hate crying on camera, but is not to give up, because this is so important, and it's easy to say, throw in the towel and that we're gonna leave.
Stop it.
Anybody but Donald Trump. Anyone. We are not going to be okay.
This guy.
You are this close to handing Trump ultimate power on this planet. Are you insane?
Turn on your video gauge.
Pathetic loser.
Is it on?
I have to tell them not to be afraid. They're afraid.
I would tell them, don't be afraid.
And I
Oh, Miley virus. Look.
For my support for everyone besides Donald Trump. Heavily supported Bernie, heavily supported Hillary. And I still think
Poor Miley.
It'll be
that
okay.
in her lifetime she deserves to be the first female president. And that's what makes me so sad.
Miley the virus.
Oh, Chris Matthews. That was
Sorry, Hannah Montana.
Oh, man. Rachel Madcow, MSLGBTV, Megan Smelly.
Megan Smalley. Look at her, she ate like a big U.S. sandwich.
Donald Trump will be the next president, the 45th president of the United States.
Killing him.
And it will be up to him to set up a team that he thinks will serve him well and reflect his policies. And
awesome. Like you're trying to race bad history.
Have to recognize that that's how democracy works. That's how.
That's hilarious, man.
This system operates.
I love it. Thank you. That was classic.
Oh man.
That was classic.
I was having a good time with it. All right.
Awesome.
Let's
So we got Fat Man in here. Hey, Fat Man, I got video here. We got some video.
Video on him.
Yeah, I got video on him. He's in the bottom right. I'm seeing him. You're going to be able to pull him in. I sure hope so.
I don't see him yet. He's not up on your... if he was up on your screen, he'd be right here.
See, I'm seeing him in my bottom right-hand corner, man.
See if you can... Are you sharing your screen with him, or do you see a video, or...
I see him.
I don't know.
I can see you too.
He can see both of us.
It's me. Oh, probably because I don't have him on contacts. I don't know. Well, for crying out loud. Do you want... Oh, it's my fault.
There we are, Batman. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man?
I'm here.
How you doing?
Doing good.
Good, man. Good to see you. Hey, Ty told me, he filled me in. I watched his video and stuff, and he filled me in on the aftermath, like the actual meeting that you had. But I want to know first. Tell me about, because this is the part that I really was interested in the beginning. Tell me about what you guys did to set this meeting up, and tell us about who he is, first of all, and how you kind of got in contact and what you did. Tell people that.
All right. Well, it started off with, the whole talk of the whole grassroots movement, trying to start small again.
Right.
Start from the bottom and build up from there. And so from just one day, just like, you know what? I'm going to start emailing these guys. I'm going to start hitting them up on Facebook and Messenger and stuff. And so I went through a whole list, emailed a bunch of people. And he was the first one to respond. And his name, I'm sure you guys knew by now, is Greg Lopez.
Yep.
And he was an Air Force veteran. He loaded bombs onto planes.
Cool.
And so from there,
he was the mayor at Parker, right, at 27?
Yeah, 27 years old. He became the mayor of Parker.
Wow.
He's part of this huge transition. I don't want to say transition, but he was part of
It's like a minority interstate trade system.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
His whole thing there was to help business owners that are minorities, like Hispanics, blacks, so on, to help expand their business.
Right.
Help get more people, more revenue growth and stuff like that. And so I reached out to him, and we set it up, and it just happened to be on the same day as our president's inauguration anniversary.
Right on.
So he came in. It was a good speech, and one part that caught me off guard is how he straight up said it. Yet I messaged him with an invite. Then he corrected himself, and he goes, "No, I was more scolded."
Is that what that's how he took it?
Exactly, because I approached him just the way I approached all the other candidates, saying how they forget that there is 100 miles still south of Pueblo, Colorado.
Right.
That they forget. They think Colorado ends at Pueblo, and that's it.
That's right.
Well, it doesn't.
It's our last major clarification. It's our last major big city before you come into the smaller rural communities.
Exactly.
Right.
And for the first time in decades, our county voted red this last election. So we really wanted to get a bigger presence down. And up to that time,
well, you'd earned
the Democrat leader or leading on the Democrat side, his name's Jared Polis. He was one of the only ones to show up down here, which that's probably a story for another time on how we new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we have him coming down, and we have Victor Mitchell coming down in 2 weeks, and
that's good.
Yeah, we got February 10th, Victor Mitchell, and hey, Fat Man, let everybody know what got you started in the movement.
Well, honestly, like, get my little bit of a history. Is I've always been a patriot. My family is huge in the military. They've always fought and served. I unfortunately could not, and so I had this idea, this mind. I want to go out and do things. I want to really show my love for this country and, I don't want to say be a politician, but get politically involved. And it wasn't until I was approached by another member of our group, and he was like, hey, there's a small group we're trying to form down here, and we'd like you to be part of it. And I took that step in, and I haven't looked back yet. So
yeah, man, you put in a lot of hard work, and he also, Francis Gage also spoke at the rally in Denver too. He gave a heck of a speech up there, along with a bunch of the other SoCo patriots. But yeah, he definitely jumped in, and by contacting those governors, I mean, it was unbelievable the response he got. I mean, he had him down here within I think 3 weeks of starting this project, and it's kind of been a windfall. Now we've got Victor Mitchell, and we've got the other ones out on the line, and he definitely brought some awareness to it.
Yeah, and that's huge because, well, like you said, just the one. You got the one down there, and you bring a little bit of that light. It does two things. Well, hopefully the plan is, one, like you're seeing, there's more reaction, there's more interest in other candidates coming down. But then also the people in your community, most of them, they know the facts just like you guys do. That it's a small community, it gets ignored a lot. It's a southern part of the state. It's just kind of out there, and it's been ignored historically. But they're not like you guys. They're not like you, the people that are going to be willing, like you, Gabe, to put in the time to contact him. You know what? To scold him. To scold your elected officials or your prospective elected officials and say, look, man, you've been forgetting about us. You've been ignoring it, and we're tired of it. So come on down and talk to us. So there's a lot of your people, a lot of your neighbors that feel like you, but are never going to step out and make it happen. So for you guys to step out and make it happen, that's what's going to make the change. Now you've got how many more coming? You've got one or two more already scheduled. Who knows who you're going to have a visit from?
There's quite a few coming down now.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's basically what we've been getting. They're scheduling us in because money's tight. Yep. So we've got a few commits right away, and the others have been like, here's the deal. We've got your number. We've got your emails. We just need to make sure that we can line it up so our travel works out. Because, we are 3.5 hours away from them, and I do understand that they want to try to, lock in little spots as they go through.
Yeah. Hey, but they're having the conversation. I mean, they're talking to you guys, and they're responding. That's the number one. That's the first step, right? That's the number one thing.
It's getting them here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
it's getting them here, and people are happy. And what we're excited about, I mean, we've always been a little nervous that, what if they don't show up? We were talking about that. They say they're coming. Hey, that's just the risk we take. And then if they don't show up, we let the world know. But no, it's been pretty exciting, and we have got their attention, and they are going to start rolling through here, and it's making a difference.
No, it's been good. So you guys. Now, Gabe, are you keeping, or is somebody between you and Ty and the crew there in Southern Colorado, you guys keeping track of like a file with these contacts, and not just, and I say this because not just the candidate, but if you can get names and phone numbers and emails and keep a contact list of like their campaign manager and things like that, because one campaign manager will know another campaign manager and things like that. So are you guys starting to set up a list and keep track of that info?
Yeah, as of right now, at least on my side, I have everything stored through email archives.
Mm-hmm.
All the name and numbers that I've hit, the name of the people I've talked to, not just the candidates themselves, but like I said, their campaign managers, their field managers, everybody that's kind of volunteered with them that I've been in contact with, I save their information.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's what's...
And I mean...
Go ahead, Ty.
And Fat Man's also been, we've been to meet and greets with politicians. We've been to town halls. He was there. He's the one who challenged the governor of Colorado because he didn't know the exact terms of the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
He's been out
there. He didn't know the Second Amendment.
No, I watched that, man. I watched that, and I actually watched it back twice and listened to you, and it was perfect. It was, you interrupted, but it was pointed. It was right at the right time. and it was the perfect like interruption. It was just kind of a statement of fact, and he knew it. He knew as soon as you started talking. He knew. Well, shit. I just got exposed. I'm just gonna let it ride. So that was awesome. You guys are doing killer things.
One part they didn't show on that with any of the news feeds is that how he basically led it up to his very young son. 7-year-old son on what we should do about
For gun
gun
control
laws here in Colorado.
That's a true story, Francis. He actually sit there and explained to us how him and his son, I think driving back and forth to school, how his son basically explained to him what gun control should be in the state of Colorado. Yep, that was said.
Wow. That goes
Pretty
to show
insane.
that goes you to show how much confidence he has in his own abilities to, think through a complex process like that, because he's openly leaving it to a 7-year-old son. I mean, I'm sure he's a smart kid, but no.
And then also, we went to the Los Animas County Republican Central Committee meeting, and Brother Troy, he's on that committee, and we went in there and talked to him, and we're getting ready to go and run to be co-chairs, precinct chairs for the caucus. So, 5 of us went to that meeting. Fat Man, Freedom Bob, Troy, and Patriot Amy, we all went in there, and it was an eye-opening experience for us. I think it was an eye-opening experience for them to meet us.
Oh yeah,
I don't. Right, Fat Man. I think everybody was kind of shocked because we were as vocal as we were for like the first night, but they also thought that we were motivated youth, which was nice to see. And also
they called you
Lopez. Well, yeah. Oh no, they definitely could see the difference.
Hey, I'm still young.
Yeah, you're
I'm
youth.
still young.
That's right. You qualify as youth. Yeah.
Hey, Fat Man. I mean, and if you ask him, it was unbelievable to see how they responded to some of like the newer ideas. I was kind of shocked. I mean, some people on the board weren't so happy, but some people were like, yeah, it's like a new perspective. So they responded to us well. And, Greg Lopez, when he come in and he saw the age group of our room, he was very excited. He was like, man, I haven't seen this motivation from kids your age anywhere. So, we're talking about going out and doing some, street politic preaching and trying to, get more kids in our age group and even younger kids. We saw the Republican National Convention last year. The youth was there dancing, the first time people had seen. So Trump's brought a resurgence to the youth in this country. They can relate to him. I think it's because of his brash personality, and they grew up with him on TV, which we could benefit from that. So, Fat Man, myself, and the rest of us, Troy, everybody else down here, we got some plans for our local politics as well as state politics. We're trying to set foot in the ground. And we want to be, I'm going to give a shout out to Francis. And basically, AFK's platform kind of gave us, it was the foundation and the starting ground for what we're doing here. Wouldn't you say, Fat Man?
Yeah, and honestly, AFK's, that whole family creed, we still use it. We still, that's what we try to live with our little group down here. We still base it on the AFK fundamentals.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love to hear that. And that's where, AFK, that's where the American Freedom Keepers is at now, is it's really, and that's what it always was, and that's what it needs to be, because it is really a philosophy, an outlook, an approach. It's a movement.
People's movement.
Yeah, it is. It's a movement. And it's not the movement. It is a movement within, it's a cog in the wheel. It's another perspective, and I appreciate hearing that, because it's, that's what we're building off of now too, with phase 2 is kind of, we're calling it, with AFK's approach and moving into this education realm. And so I'm happy to hear that. In fact, I'm ecstatic. I appreciate that a lot.
And we're learning. Things, and then people are going to learn, like we've always talked from the beginning. People are going to learn from us. We're going to learn together, and then there's people that have come in and commented, and we're learning from them. So that's. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Lewis Huey. What's up, brother? Major League Liberty. Lewis Huey's in the house. Lisa's, what's up, Fresh? That's all right, Lewis.
Well,
go ahead, Francis.
No, and the key is that it's not. None of us would have any of this to build off of if it wasn't. I mean, there's thousands of people over the last year that really that really locked onto the concept behind AFK and the family creed and really what it meant and why it was different. You know, what stood out different and what it meant, to kind of follow along that philosophy. And it was a conglomeration. It was a group. There was a lot of people that were involved, and I could name them off, but we'd go probably another 15, 20 minutes. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that was involved with AFK in the beginning, because I wouldn't be able to be here doing this show, and Ty, you and I wouldn't be able to be building off of this. It's all, it was a conglomeration and a collective thought process of a lot of people. I just happened to be the dude that was talking on the camera one day, and then I got roped into doing it the next day, and then before I know it, here I am. And I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it, but really it's owed to you guys that out of state that I didn't even know. I didn't know Ty. He called me on the phone one day, and then the next thing I know, he's got like 10 people, and then there's 15, and then and I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, this is awesome. And then
we're traveling the country
and for Southern Colorado, it's growing.
Yeah.
Just recently, my wife and I were at a local little restaurant here, and a gentleman approached us, and he was like, "Hey, what you guys doing is awesome. The meet and greet was awesome. Sorry I couldn't make it, but I didn't know this guy, and he just out of nowhere knew everything about us just because of what we're doing and the positive impacts we have on our little community."
You know, I think that's the story is incredible. I wish that it's almost like we need everybody to just write like a chapter or two about how you came into it and what kind of got you started, and then piece it all together in this book of 50 or 100 different authors all made up of different chapters. Because I tell you, Ty, do you recall? I don't remember what happened. You were watching a video. I don't remember where I was. Was I in Berkeley or?
It was the first Battle of Berkeley or whatever they called it. And I'd seen your radio show once before, but I think it was right after Berkeley I looked you up. That's how it was. And I watched some of your backlog radio shows, and then I started following you, and I don't know.
You sent me a message.
That's right. You come out with American Freedom Keepers, and I sent you a message. I was like, hey, man, myself and some friends of mine are going to Boulder to do a rally in Colorado. And you were like, nobody's ever filmed a rally out of Colorado yet. And you made me an editor on AFK's page, and I filmed the rally and talked to you and I think Ace and Billy and Doc that day. You guys were leaving New York City the first time, I think.
Yep. I think that's right.
And it was from there. Met in Vegas, did the stand event.
Yep.
And we've been going ever since, man. It's been great. This has been great. So thank you all. We love talking to you all, and we love that you guys follow us all and watch what we're doing, because we're trying to make an effort to save this country. You guys, this doesn't have anything to do with fame or fortune or money. This is all about a group of people that want to leave this country a better place for our children and grandchildren. And we're not willing to back off, and we're not willing to stand down. We the people, baby.
Amen. We the people.
Exactly.
All right, we are getting very, very close to the new name, the new platform, the new kind of plan. So stick around, stay tuned for that. We're gonna have, let's see, today's Thursday. Yeah, today's Thursday. So we'll be back Sunday. Except, I don't know what you're doing tomorrow, Ty, but I'm gonna be watching for that memo. And Gabe, right. I know you guys will both be watching for it, so might just have to come on and do a little live, show about what the memo is saying, because I'm going to be watching. I mean, I'm going to print it out and read it and try and. Tomorrow's going to be crazy. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Tomorrow's going to be crazy. So appreciate everyone being here. Thank you, Gabe, for coming on, and we will.
Problem,
man. We'll have you back, because I know you guys are doing a lot, and I think back to that day, man, Ty, that day when you sent me a message. I think you sent me a message, and then I called you, and you're like, "Hey, my name's Ty. I live," and we
spent about 4 hours on the phone that first night just talking politics.
First conversation. That's right.
Yeah, man.
And who knows?
Hey, I love you, brother.
Who knows?
Love you too.
Yep.
Love you too, Gage.
Love you guys too. Oh
love
God,
you guys all.
Gabe or Gage, I put on your name wrong there. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for everything.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I know,
man. I can't see straight. I can't spell right. I can't handle the electronics. I can't do the broadcast. But you know what? We're gonna have fun anyway. So Gage, we're gonna have you back just simply so that I can prepare better and fix your name on here. and also because you guys are going to be doing a lot more in Southern Colorado. So,
yep.
All right. Love you guys, and talk to you soon.
Hey, love you guys. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And if we don't stand up for the liberties and freedoms that we have today, our children and grandchildren won't have them tomorrow. So let's stand now. America, baby.
America. Stay vigilant, brothers.
Thanks, guys, for having me on.